Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Courage to Caregivers. My name is Cathy. We're starting a new month. The theme of this month is courage, and the topic for tonight is learning from your mistakes. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect or has things perfectly figured out. That's just not possible. So why do we berate ourselves over our mistakes? Mistakes can offer us opportunities to grow and learn if we just reframe them in that way. If we work to never make a mistake, we limit ourselves. We live too small and we don't take any risks and we stay too safe. It takes courage to venture out of our comfort zones, trying things we've never tried before, or empowering ourselves in ways that we might never have imagined. So if we're too afraid of making mistakes, we don't do any of those things. We kind of live in a little cocoon. Did you know that making mistakes actually promotes brain growth? There is significantly higher electrical activity in the brain when dealing with a conflict that has a correct response and an incorrect response. So just that conflict, possibly looking, discerning at the situation, then making a mistake, that alone raises your brain activity. So by allowing ourselves to make mistakes, we build and strengthen the neural pathways in the brain. And that's a good thing. When we do make mistakes, we tend to look at ourselves through a negative lens, and then we might feel bad about ourselves and get depressed or anxious. But if we look at our mistakes as educational, we can reframe them as simply being the outcome of an experience, neither good nor bad. And isn't that what mindfulness is all about? To practice detached awareness and look at things exactly as they are in the present moment without any judgment, just simply as it is now. This is a much healthier mindset to live by. So instead of beating ourselves up, practice detached awareness. That's hard to do, but that's what we are practicing each time we do a mindfulness practice. When we choose to learn from our mistakes, instead of fearing them, we learn to trust ourselves more and recognize the lessons that we learn. So then hopefully we won't repeat them. But even if we do, the more we approach ourselves with compassion and recognize that we are all perfectly imperfect works in progress, the more acceptance we will have not only for ourselves, but for others when they make mistakes too. We are in this together, so have courage and carry on. Just a little bit of what you'll be discussing tonight in your support group. Let's move on to a little breathing practice. We're going to go ahead and visit our practice of breath for the month. This is humming bee breath or bee breath or hummingbird breath, but it all has to do with humming. This is a cleansing type of breathing practice. It sends out a nice vibration in the body. It brings focus, it brings clarity, and it also calms the body because that very vibration of the breath elicits the relaxation response in the body. So let's go ahead and get started now. A couple of options here. You could close the eyes and close the ears using your thumbs to place on the ears and then fingers over the eyes. Or you could just close the ears if you don't feel comfortable closing the eyes. And so those are a couple of ways to do it. You could also bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth with your mouth closed, but you don't have to. So just a few things you can do. I like to plug the ears because I feel that the vibration is really nicely contained when you've shut off all outside noise. So the way we're going to do this is take a nice big inhale together and then a cleansing breath out. And then one more inhale to tune in. And on that exhale, we'll start to hum like a bee with the mouth closed. And you're going to hum and hum and hum until that one breath is all the way out of the lungs. And we'll do that 2 more times. I will coach you through it, and you can't do it wrong, so don't be worried about that. So finding a nice tall seat with your feet on the floor and your ears lined up over the shoulders. We know that when we sit up nice and tall, we can breathe more efficiently because it allows the lungs to be nice and full to capacity. So go ahead and find your version of humming bee breath. And we're going to go ahead and take an inhale together now and a cleansing breath out. And then an inhale to tune in. Mm. Inhaling to tune in. Exhale, buzz it out. Mm. One more time, inhaling in and exhale, hum it out. Mm. Beautiful. Release the hands, place them back on your lap, close the eyes. Let the vibration of the breath resonate through the body, filling every cell, bringing clarity, bringing focus, bringing calm. And breathe into that sensation of calm right here, right now. Keeping those eyes closed, begin to deepen that breath just a little bit. So taking a nice big inhale in and a nice long exhale out. With every breath, feeling your stress level begin to diminish moment by moment and breath by breath. Feeling the body start to soften and open, expand and relax. And if there's any areas in the body today where you're feeling particularly tense, go ahead and send that beautiful breath of yours to those particular areas and invite in some expansion and ease. So just engaging this natural rhythm of your own breath as it comes and as it goes. And as you are breathing, opening, relaxing, I will go ahead and read our affirmations for tonight's practice. My life is a labor of love. There are no mistakes, only learning. It is safe for me to try something new and fail, because the truth is there is no failure, no mistakes, only outcomes. Connected to my heart, I have the courage to move forward. Connected to my heart, I have the courage to move forward. Beautiful. Continuing several more rounds of this supported breath, feeling it in your body. And just appreciating where you are right now in this moment. No judgment, And just letting the breath flow naturally in and out, in and out. When that feels complete, blinking the eyes open and bringing your awareness back to this moment. We're going to go ahead and start a few mindful movements here, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of mindful movement. And we'll begin with the 6 directions of the spine, beginning with cat-cows, flexion and extension, pressing your hands into your thighs, moving the hands towards the knees, arching the back, lifting the gaze on the inhale. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, moving those hands back towards your body. Good. Inhaling, lifting. Great. And exhaling, rounding. So go ahead and find this movement on your own, really allowing for that movement of the spinal column, just finding expansion between each vertebra, creating a lot of good space there, and appreciating your flexibility and strength. Good. And then coming to stillness here, we'll do a twist side to side. This is torsion, 2 more directions of the spine, right and left. So we'll take that right hand, place it on the left knee, lifting through the crown of the head as we inhale, turn to the left, peeking over the shoulder. That arm can come out in space, or you could place that hand on the back of the chair, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Beautiful. Twisting back all the way to center. We'll do the same thing on the other side, sitting up nice and tall, taking left hand to right knee, lifting through the crown of the head, inhaling, twisting to the right, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Beautiful. Coming back to center, we'll do the last 2 directions of the spine, side bends right and left. This is the lateral side to side movement of the spine. We'll inhale, lifting that right arm up overhead. As we inhale, lift through the crown of the head and bend to the left side, really finding space in the side body. So we're getting a stretch in the side of the spine and through the waist and the rib cage. We'll go ahead and inhale straight up, back to center, bringing the opposite arm up, inhaling, lifting, and exhaling, bending to the side. Good. Beautiful. And then coming up back to center. Go ahead and do this several times on your own, keeping those sitting bones rooted down into your chair, keeping your feet resting on the floor. And if this is the first time today that you've had a chance to move the spine a little bit, just feeling that great release of any stress that you may be carrying or may have been carrying today. Good. And then releasing, bringing everything back to center. Good. And then we're going to come up out of the chair here. So moving your chair away, and we're coming to stand in mountain pose. So that is with feet at about a hip's distance apart, nice and grounded on the floor, all 4 corners of the feet. Take your hands to your shoulders and draw the shoulders back, and then release the hands, bringing the arms down alongside you. Feeling the expansion and expansion of the collarbones and the heart and the chest opening. Ears are over the shoulders, lifting through the crown of the head, mountain pose. Standing into your power and your empowerment, your strength as a caregiver, and your personal strength for all the things you are and all the things you do. Just breathing in to mountain pose here. Good. And then we're going to find eagle arms here. So bringing the arms out in front of us, we'll take hands to opposite shoulders, giving yourself a great big hug. Maybe rocking your body a little side to side here. And then crossing the arms at the elbows, we'll bring the palms together. Good. You can leave them right at the height of your nose, or you could bring the arms up further if your shoulders will allow that kind of a stretch. So standing here with eagle arms, breathing in, breathing out. If you want to add a lower body movement, you could come into chair pose. So sinking down into chair as if you were sitting in a chair, bending the knees, and sending the weight back to your heels. Beautiful. If you want to take it a step further, lifting one foot off, wrapping it around the other leg, or just coming up on the toes of that foot. So completely your choice. Breathing in and breathing out. Eagle pose. Good. And then releasing the hands, bringing the hands and arms behind you. And let's just start to soar, soaring eagle here. Going through the sky, through the clouds, through the treetops. And just allowing your mind to be freed of any mistakes that you have made. We all make them. Just giving yourself that grace to not worry about that at all, but rather to learn from your mistakes and grow at the same time. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands to the heart center. We're going to come back to our chair. Good. And we're going to start a little technique called EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping. And this is done by counselors and therapists for their patients who are holding trauma or stress, PTSD, or any time that we are overwhelmed by negative feelings and we're hearing all that negative self-talk in our minds. We want to do something to quell that stress. And so this is using the fingertips as acupressure on various energy points throughout the body. And when we touch ourselves, when we tap in different places, this corresponds with the release of feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which brings calm to the body, versus the release of cortisol, which is the stress hormone when we are not calm. And it also just encourages us to slow down with our breathing and to mindfully bring to mind maybe perhaps something that that your negative self is telling you, or if you're feeling overwhelmed in a situation, to address that and then tap yourself through all the different stages. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. And some of you may have already done things like this. And if so, that's very good. Good. Beautiful. And so we're going to start with the crown of the head. And here we're using not the fingernail part, but the pads of the fingers. Just tap, 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 tap. And come down on the forehead above the eyebrows. Tap, 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 tap. And then the sides of the eyes. Tap, 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 tap. And below the eyes, right at the cheekbones there. Tap, 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 tap. And then the upper lip right underneath the nose. And the lower lip right underneath that lip and above the chin. And then tapping on the chin itself. Tap, tap, tap. And then collarbones on each side of the chest. Tap, 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 tap. Gentle taps. And then taking your hand and taking the outside of the hand, so the pinky side of the hand, and just tapping, tapping, tapping underneath the armpit. And then back to the collarbones. Back to the chin. Underneath that lower lip. And then the upper lip. And you can even do these one hand on each at the same time. So upper and lower. And then cheekbones. Side of the eyes. And above the eyebrows. And at the top of the head. Good. And you can release and relax for a moment. So when you do this, you can also talk to yourself and tell yourself a positive affirmation. I'll give you an example. Starting at the top of the head, even though I am overwhelmed at work, I completely and deeply accept myself. So that's just something that you could say to yourself, and then tap through the process, all the different pressure points, until you finally get to the end and say, okay, I own that I'm letting this bother me. I'm letting my work life bother me, but I'm going to go ahead and accept myself and work through this. And I recognize that it is the way it is, but I'm going to do better. And this is a way of just bringing things into a better perspective, better focus, and at the same time, releasing those feel-good hormones to relax the body. So just a little bit of information. Remember, it's called EFT tapping. And there is a website, Emotional Freedom Technique Tapping, from the tappingsolution.com. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, it's really an interesting little bit of neuroscience. And it actually does work. So, okay, I want to do a couple things with you before we go ahead into our Shavasana tonight. So just sitting on your chair here, I want you to close the eyes. Bring your left hand right underneath your right armpit. And then your right hand over that left shoulder. So you've got one hand on the shoulder, one hand under your armpit, right? And then just draw the elbows down. So getting yourself nice and relaxed here. Draw the elbows down, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Place your feet on the floor. And then I invite you to close the eyes and just begin to breathe in your normal way. And then if you like, adding a little squeeze, maybe you squeeze the shoulder, maybe you squeeze under the arm one at a time or at the same time, every now and then. And this is a little exercise that stimulates the vagus nerve, brings us from the fight or flight state of being into the rest and digest state of being, which is where we want to be. So just allowing yourself to feel the stress melting away and your body just transferring from that heightened alert to that sense of calm and ease. And I encourage you to do this every day, morning, evening, middle of the day. When you feel yourself in a stressful situation, take 5 minutes, close the eyes and do this. And I guarantee you, you will feel much, much better from the inside out, emotionally and physically. So this is, it's called a body hold. And it is one way that we can give ourselves self-care, very much like self-massage or deep breathing. It's one of those tools for the toolbox. So let's release the hands And now cross the hands at the wrists, and then placing the hands right about at the level of the collarbones. Just begin to tap the collarbones with your fingers. That's right, beautiful. Closing the eyes again if you wish. And just a gentle tapping, tapping. And again, feeling the body settling, softening, and responding to this little percussive touch. And then another option is to tap one hand at a time. So one hand for each side. If that doesn't resonate, then keep on tapping them both at the same time. We always have little variations, so whatever you like best. Good. And then releasing the hands, placing them in prayer position at your heart. And just begin to feel how the body has prepared for deep rest. You've calmed the body. Now you're ready to find your sanctuary in whatever position you like to rest in, either down on the floor or on a couch, or perhaps seated in your chair. So go ahead and find your place now. Also, finding your comforts for tonight: pillows, blankets, maybe a bolster or another pillow under the knees. Whatever would be most supportive for you. Good. And I just invite you to stretch out nice and long if you're laying down on the floor, maybe lowering your lights. And if you're seated in your chair, finding that nice, comfortable position. And when you found your sweet space, I invite you to close the eyes and begin to connect with your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing the rhythm of your own unique breath as it comes and as it goes. You're beginning to soften all the muscles in the face, the forehead, the cheeks, and the temples, the upper jaw and the lower jaw. And then finding a softness behind the eyes until the whole face is relaxed. The whole face is completely and totally relaxed. Moving the breath now down to the throat. Allow for the throat to open slightly and expand. Feeling that release there. And then allowing the breath to move into the right shoulder, the upper arm, the elbow, forearm, wrist, hand, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, and all the fingers of the right hand, the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. So that from all the fingers of the right hand, all the way up to the right shoulder, your whole right arm is relaxed. Moving your awareness down the side of the body into the right rib cage and the waist. And then moving into that right hip, sending the breath right there. Breathing into that right hip. And then bringing the breath down to the thigh, the knee, the shin, the ankle, and the foot, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, and all the toes of the right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe, so that from the foot all the way up to the right hip, your whole right leg is relaxed. Your whole right side is completely and totally relaxed. Moving your awareness now to the left shoulder and the left upper arm, the elbow, forearm, wrist, and hand, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, and all the fingers of the left hand, the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. Letting all that stress and tension go, so that from the fingers of the left hand all the way up to the left shoulder, your whole left arm is relaxed. Moving your awareness down the left side of the body, the ribs, the waist, and the left hip. Bringing the breath to the left thigh, the knee, the shin, the ankle, the foot, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, and all the toes of the left foot. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and baby toe, so that from the toes of the left foot all the way up to that left hip, your whole left side is relaxed. Both sides are completely and totally relaxed. Now moving your awareness to the back body and all parts of the body that have contact with the ground beneath you. Back of the legs, the buttocks, low back, middle back, upper back, and shoulder blades, the back of the head. The whole back body is relaxed. Good. And moving on to the front body and all parts of the body that shine towards the stars. The front of the feet, the front of the legs, the pelvis and the hips, the low belly, the upper belly, the chest, the ribs, the heart. Your generous caregiving heart, in appreciation for this beautiful heart that gives and gives to everyone in your care each and every day. Your whole body is relaxed. Your whole body is completely and totally relaxed. Rest now in this knowing. Just rest. Very gently and very slowly beginning to bring your awareness back to the body, starting to move in small ways, wiggling fingers or toes, rocking your head a little bit from side to side, or gathering your knees into your chest. Whatever movement, stretch, posture that you need, go ahead and give yourself that gift right now as your body awakens and comes back to the present moment. And then start to deepen the breath, taking a long inhale and then an even longer, deeper exhale. Good. And then going ahead and rolling to one side, making a little pillow for your head there, and just taking some mindful breaths so that we don't come back up too soon. Here's a quote from Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. Boy, those were the days. She says, "Take chances, make mistakes, get messy." I love that. Get messy. And so continuing to breathe and letting your body respond to movement and breath. And finally, when you're ready, pressing yourself back into a seated position and coming together with hands at the heart. Well, I want to thank everyone for being with me tonight. And just to say, as you proceed with your week, find ways to have courage. That's such an important component of your role as a caregiver. But courage for your loved one, courage for yourself. Always remember to give to yourself too. And so lifting the arms up as we inhale, and then pressing the palms together, bringing your hands back to the heart. The light within me honors and recognizes the light that I see shining from each one of you. We share that acknowledgement when we say together, Namaste. Thanks, everybody.